Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. Good afternoon and Minglawa. I would like to start with Myanmar Union Peace Conference. In this week, Union Peace Conference or 21st Century Penlung Conference or Second Penlung Conference agreed and signed a number of agreements among Myanmar government, Myanmar Temador, defense services, and ethnic armed groups for nationwide ceasefire and implementation of a federal democratic union. Unfortunately, Rohingyas were not included in that process. Now we need to think about why Myanmar have 21st Century Penlung Conference in 2020. Myanmar got her independence in 1948 as a result of 20th Century Penlung Conference, which is also a first Penlung Conference, in which Myanmar authorities promised all indigenous groups, including Rohingya, for equal rights. After the independence, Myanmar's central government denied equal rights of all ethnic. As a consequence, all ethnics, including Rohingya people, fought with armed revolution for their equal rights. Among them, Rohingya armed group is only group which exchanged weapons with peace, as Myanmar government promised for equal rights of Rohingya as other ethnics of Myanmar. But over the time, Rohingya have been facing multi-dimensional discrimination and repeated expulsion from their ancestral land. The first one took place in 1978. Dictator General Ne Win implemented a discriminatory citizenship law in 1982 through his rubber stamp parliament. The major goal of this law is to uproot Rohingya from their motherland through a genocide. So in 1990, Myanmar government authorities started to issue in citizenship card, but Rohingya were denied for the new citizenship card, despite they are indigenous people of Arakan as well as Myanmar. A policy for Rohingya was introduced that is denying, is not recognizing the Rohingya as citizen, so to remove and to deny their ethnic identity and birthrights. After the 1990 election, Rohingya were expelled again. This is it's very clear that they implemented 1982 citizenship law to expel Rohingya from their motherland. So since then, all Rohingya were suffered for 20 years until 2010. Because of international community pressure and intervention, Myanmar government allowed Rohingya to participate in 2010 election. In that election, Rohingya were able to vote and to represent them in the parliament. But in 2012, again, Rohingya faced multi-dimensional discrimination and harassment. Then as a result, they were disenfranchised in 2015 election based on 1982 controversial citizenship law. So there was a secret point and secret issue how Myanmar government discriminated Rohingya people. So that is NRC card. It means National Registration Cards were issued all citizens of Myanmar after the independence. When Myanmar implemented 1982 citizenship law, they use national registration cards as a primary document or evidence for citizenship. Unfortunately, Rohingyas' primary citizenship documents or national registration cards were denied until today. So now it is time for Myanmar to stop this policy and genocide. The recent denial of Rohingya MB candidates highlighted, signaling the world that Myanmar is still keeping their policy of genocide. We need to look at it. We need to think about very seriously. In fact, Rohingyas are very peace-loving people. They choose a peaceful coexistence policy in Arakan state. This is no doubt, the whole world know it. Therefore, I would like to request the Myanmar government, enough is enough. Please stop genocide against Rohingya, as well as Rakhine ethnic, especially in the Arakan state, and create our motherland as a peaceful land with diverse population. And Rohingya should be included in the 21st century Penlong Conference, which is second peace conference in Myanmar history. Now it is time to see very clearly, to look at very clearly, what shall we do if Myanmar government fail to do so? What international community do? What United Nations should do? So in this situation, I would like to mention very seriously and carefully, if Myanmar failed to do so, international community and United Nations should intervene to create for all ethnics of Rohingya, Rakhine and others in Arakan to create a land of peace. If Myanmar government deny our history, we need to change political geography to prevent genocide. And then, if Myanmar failed to implement to create a peaceful environment on our ancestral land, then international community should help Rohingya people for the voluntary repatriation with full safety, security, and integrity to their motherland, so that Rohingya people, together with other ethnics, can live peacefully on their motherland. Otherwise, Rohingya may jump into the ocean of self-determination like other ethnics. In that situation, if this is the case, I can foresee there will be a full-fledged genocide against Rohingya. So if international community needs to prevent this genocide, so we need to think and adopt a policy very carefully. I fully understand that according to UN Charter, everyone has right for the self-determination. But in the context of Rohingya, in the context of the Arakan situation, without the help or support of at least a superpower, self-determination for Rohingya is very costly and dangerous. So that will allure to the hell of genocide again. So therefore, I would like to request Myanmar government to stop genocide right now. If Myanmar doesn't stop, then I would like to request international community, especially US government and United Nations, to create or to think a very the peaceful land for the Rohingya, Rakhine, Khmer, and other ethnics in Arakan, so that we can live very peacefully. So, as a conclusion, I would like to request, if you are living in United States, please call your government, US government, please call your congressman to think this issue very carefully and to restore our birthright, and so that Rohingya people could go back to their ancestral land with safety, security, dignity, and they could survive. They could survive themselves. They could feed themselves without any humanitarian help from international community. So therefore, I would like to conclude, you see, my statement. So requesting our US citizen to call your representative, congressman, and government to think seriously the issue, which is not only issue of Myanmar, not only and Myanmar and Southeast Asia, it's a global issue. It's a concern for the global security and peace. Thank you so much.